Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to this week's ClearPath LeaderCast. My name is Craig Anderson. I'm the president of ClearPath Coaching and Consulting. I work with leaders and small business owners and C-suite executives, helping them move from being accidental executives to more confident leaders. So many of us find ourselves in leadership roles, but we never really expected to see ourselves there. And it's all about building the skills and the mindset to help you become the leader you aspire to be. And this is the second in a series I've been working on over the last couple of weeks on leadership qualities. And we talk a lot about leadership qualities around empathy and accuracy and focusing in on numbers. And those are all important things. But last week we talked about leadership curiosity. And this week we're going to be talking about leadership confidence, or leadership courage, which is an important piece that we really don't talk about enough. So if you're just joining me here for the first time, we're here every Thursday at noon. You can drop any comments you have in either the Facebook comments or the comments on YouTube, and I should be able to see them here. If you've activated StreamYard, I'll be able to see your name as well, but either way, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. As always, we're going to knock this out in about 15 minutes. We're going to leave you with 3 actionable tips you can take to start growing your leadership courage every day. And if you would like some help building out that leadership courage, as you can see in the scroll at the bottom, set up a call with me, a quick 15-minute call to see if there's some opportunities for us to maybe help you grow to where you want to be as a leader. That's clearpathcoaches.com/intro call. And jump in there and we'll get a time set up for us to talk about how we can help you become the leader you aspire to be. So let's dive in today into leadership courage. As I said, we talk about so many things that are important, and there are so many things to think about when you're a leader, because you are leading a team, you are moving a business forward. There's so many things to contemplate and think about. We talk a lot these days about transparency and empathy and employee engagement and those things that leaders need to drive. And those are all very important things, don't get me wrong. But inside, there's always kind of a battle. What are the things we need to do to change our mindset that will help us become better leaders? As I said, last week, we talked about curiosity. This week, we're going to be talking about leadership courage. The cowardly lion and leaders have something to learn, and it is how to have courage. And I'm going to talk today about courage in 3 areas. First, we're going to be talking about making tough decisions. For many people, one of the most challenging things that they have to do is timely making of tough decisions. Then we're going to talk about taking risks and leading change in your organization. And then finally, and this one is harder than sometimes you realize it will be, which is trusting your team. We'll talk about why that's important. So let's dive into the first one about leadership courage and making tough decisions. This is, for me in my time as leader, this was one of the things I struggled with a lot. I knew the decisions I needed to be made. I knew the things that I needed to do, but they were going to be difficult. They impacted people. They maybe impacted clients. And there was going to be some pushback and maybe some negativity towards me when I did that. And that was always a concern for me to, I wanted to be liked, which is not it's not a bad thing in a leader, but it also can create a lot of challenges for you for a leader. And I also didn't like conflict. It's not something I enjoyed. And I was always worried that these tough decisions and announcing them was going to cause problems for me. So the thing I really had to think about is when I saw that these tough decisions had to be made, I had to make sure I had all the things aligned, all the facts I needed to make that tough decision. And then what you have to do is you have to jump in and make the decision. The thing that is the most difficult is the build up to making that decision. There's a lot of anxiety about it. You don't know how it's going to go. Maybe some regret that you're already feeling before you've even done it. But here's the thing, as a boss of mine once told me, problems do not age well. Problems do not improve over time. There was a guy who was the athletic director at my alma mater, University of Florida. Go Gators. It's been a rough year for us, but we still persevere. Nevertheless, the former athletic director, Jeremy Foley, said of making tough decisions, what should be done eventually must be done immediately. How many of us as leaders have seen the problem? We know it's a problem, and then we just kind of hope it's going to go away. And hope is not a strategy. Things will not just go away. So we have to deal with them. And if we know we see this problem and we know it's not going to get better, and we've tried to make that improvement, make the changes, because we do want to, as leaders, help our people grow and improve. But when we see that's not going to happen, we know we made that bad hire, we know we made that bad investment decision. We need to make that decision and cut it off and just make the decision. Do it as soon as possible. That way, all of the rest of the organization can begin the next path and the way to move forward. And you're going to find once you make that tough decision, the aftermath of the decision may be challenging, but it's never going to be as emotionally stressful as everything you have leading up to that tough decision. I've had to make a lot of tough decisions, give a lot of bad news in my time. But if we think about it from what is best for the organization and for the company and for our team for the long term, it's really important. That employee who is just toxic in your environment but produces well. You say, well, we're getting a lot out of them, so maybe we'll just put up with it. No. Your whole team is looking for you to make that decision. And your team knows when the decision's obvious and you're not making it. And it undermines your credibility as a leader. So we have to look deep. We have to call on our courage to make these decisions. Get the information we need to act, do it quickly, and then take the action. Don't let these things wither and carry on forever. It's not a way that you're going to be successful as a leader, because these things will catch up with us when we don't deal with them. So that's that one. Again, if you have questions or comments or other thoughts, drop them into the chat. Would love to hear from you here. Or if you're watching this on replay, drop a hashtag replay in the comments and let me know what your question is, and I'll pop right back in and give you a response. So let's talk about the next area, which is taking risks around leading change. In some ways, this is just like tough decisions, because change, nobody likes change. Even when it's beneficial for them, it means we have to do some things differently. So, as Neil Gaiman said in one of his books, if you dare nothing, then when the day is over, nothing is all you will have gained. So sometimes you have to take those risks. And it does take a lot of courage to take risks. I'm not saying every day we have to make big, momentous, risky decisions for our business. But if we don't have a little bit of risk in the decisions we make, if we're not willing to stretch and maybe push to see what could come out of that decision, we're not going to see the kind of quick progress that we want to make. Now, we may make a mistake in some of the risky decisions we make, and how we react to that is important as well. But even in that failure, if you make a mistake, there's learning opportunities for you. And when you learn and you can assess and process that failure you may have made, that's going to allow you to make better decisions on risks in the future and take bigger swings that are going to help your business grow. And leading change is a difficult one. Change, maybe you have a product that you want a new product or service you want to enter into your business, or you're looking at something saying, we just don't need to do that anymore. You need to really make that assessment, push the envelope, make the tough decision for change, because change is how we evolve and grow as a business. It's how our teams evolve and grow. Again, we're not just doing change for change's sake, risks for risk's sake, but we need to look at all the opportunities ahead of us. And sometimes there is that risk reward calculation where we're going to take that bigger risk for the bigger reward. And you're going to have to do the internal gut check as a leader. You're going to get lots of input from a lot of people. But one of the challenges I've talked about before when we're as leaders is everyone around us has an agenda when they're giving us input and feedback. We have to filter through all that, sort through it all, and look inside, look at the data that we have, look inside at our accumulated experience, and make the decision to take the risk or not take it. But when you make that decision, make the decision to take the risk, be bold, be decisive, and move forward to take the risk. And when you take those risks, that's what's going to help you move your business forward more quickly. So I really would encourage you to think about not being afraid of risks. And sometimes in bigger organizations, they can be really risk averse. When, working with my smaller business owners and people at smaller companies, risk taking can happen a little more easily. And this could even be risks in your career, taking that job that, seems like a little risky for you, but what could it do for you if you take it? So we need to find the courage in and of ourselves to make those risky decisions, informed, but risky decisions. So that's part 2, is looking to make risky decisions. Just make the decision once you have all the information. Do not get stuck in paralysis by analysis, but take the action, move forward. If the risk doesn't work out, if you fail, take those learnings so you can make better decisions around risk in the future. And now the last one that I want to touch on today is trusting your team. And you may say, Craig, how does it take courage to trust your team? You built the team. Maybe you didn't build the team and you inherited the team. But sometimes we have to be courageous in trusting our team. So what does this mean? Sometimes if we're coming up through an organization, maybe we were an independent contributor, maybe we were a small business that grew, and now I'm having to surround myself with other leaders to help the business move forward. Or in a corporate world, I'm used to being an independent contributor, and now I've moved up into a leadership role. I'm going to have a team around me, and it's going to take some courage to trust that team to act on your behalf, to be able to delegate to that team, to let them start making decisions. Now, one of the things we can do, we want to have the courage to make those decisions, but to make those delegations and help our team make those decisions for us. But what do we need to do? And I've talked about this before in other ClearPath Leadercasts and over in the blog as well. But if we want to trust our team, we have to enable our team to make the best possible decisions. So we really need to build a plan for our business or our division or our corporation that clarifies where we're trying to go. What does the future look like? What results matter the most? And what is the most important work to be done? So they have a context and a framework for making decisions when you delegate those decisions for them. And then the other piece is building that right team around you. Getting the right people in the right seats on the bus is crucial. And I've worked with a lot of companies around hiring and using different tools like the Core Values Index. So we not necessarily to know if they can do the job, but do they have the temperament to fit in with the team? Do they have the temperament for the role you're asking them to take? And again, if you want to set up a call with me to talk about where you want to grow as a leader and how to maybe build some of these tools into your business, let's set up that call at clearpathcoaches.com/intro call. So that's what we're going to have to do. If we want to trust our team, we have to give them the tools and the framing to be able to make the decisions we need them to make. So those are really 3 areas for leadership courage that I wanted to talk with you all about today. The first was making tough decisions. Get the courage to make tough decisions. Don't make rash decisions, but get the information. And then when you have what you need to make the decision, take action. Trust in yourself. Do not delay decisions that you need to make, because they will not get better with time. Taking risks around leading change. Take those risks that are going to make the quantum leap forward for your business. Not every day, that would be exhausting. But when the scenario is right, when you have the data and you see that opportunity, seize it and have the courage to make that risky change that will help your business grow over time. And then 3, what are the things you can do to trust your team more trustingly, which is terrible that way. But if I'm going to trust my team, I need to make sure that I have put the right team around me, that I've created for them the framework and the context of what success looks like to enable them to make the changes and make decisions they need to go. So would love to talk to you more. Again, clearpathcoaches.com/intro call. Check out the blog over at clearpathcoaches.com as well. Melissa, great to see you here. Thank you for the link. And everybody, if you have any questions, we'd love to talk to you there. If you catch this on replay, drop me a #replay. Let me know what you think. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day and a great weekend coming up. Bye.